Tim Bost. I just wanted to spend a couple of minutes with you today to bring you up to date with some things that I've been considering and then wanted to share with you. Actually, right now I'm in the midst of a little bit of R&R time. I've retreated to Pawleys Island, South Carolina, to the historic Pelican Inn, where I'm enjoying some downtime in the low country and getting some great food and lots of time at the beach, watching the ocean, getting tuned in to the natural cycles that are so compelling and so obvious when you're at the ocean. And it's a great experience indeed. To see the full moon rise over the ocean is really an exhilarating experience. One of the things that goes on, of course, here is the regular flow of the tides. We've got the high tide and the low tide at regular intervals, and we certainly check that out on a regular basis to find out what's going on with the high tide and low tide. It's very, very obvious because the amount of beach that's visible changes quite radically. The same kind of thing applies to the experience of the markets. We have the ups and downs of the markets. We also have the highs and lows of the economy. So one of the big concerns that's being expressed right now is, when will the next recession hit? And with a recession, of course, we have a downturn in economic conditions. The big questions are, when will this happen? How long will it last? And how big an impact will it have? But the more important question for us, I think, is how can we best prepare for this inevitable event that comes along every once in a while? We have the ups and downs of the economic cycles, just like the ebb and flow of the tides. This is a natural phenomenon. This is something that we must learn to live with. So our approach here is not to be fearful of the next recession. We instead want to be prudent about preparing for the next recession, whenever that may come. Whether we're talking 2 months from now or 5 years from now, we know that there will be a downturn ahead of us, and we have to face up to that fact. Now, this is a very interesting kind of phenomenon for us, especially if we have worked hard to accumulate wealth over the years. And that's true for most of us. It takes effort to bring wealth together and to have that kind of position. We know, of course, that should we lose money in any situation, we can always bring more money in. That's a natural kind of process. And we want to be able to experience these kinds of ups and downs in the economy with a matter of graciousness. And it's almost embarrassing whenever we have a time of a little personal setback or setback in our business because we certainly don't like experiencing it, but more importantly than that, we don't want to seem ungrateful. We work hard, we accumulate wealth in our lives, and we have a lot to be thankful for along the way. And then when we have an experience that doesn't quite measure up, or we do have to pull back a little bit, the idea that we have something to complain about really doesn't quite mesh here. If we've done well by ourselves, then the idea that we should complain when things aren't going exactly our way does seem a little bit ungrateful along the way. But all that aside, we do need to be clear about what needs to happen whenever we have a potential recession ahead. Now, this is something that we don't want to approach fearfully at all. It doesn't do any good, but we do want to be prudent. And that's what I've been giving a lot of thought to here over the last few days as I've had some time to watch the tides and do some thinking and reevaluate some of the positions that I'm taking in my own business, and especially in response to some of my clients who've been asking me for my guidance, my advice about what they need to be doing in terms of anticipating a shift in the economic conditions. So I've been looking at this in terms of 4 main concerns. Now, my plan is to create a short video about each one of these to dig into it a little bit more depth. Let's just share for a moment what those concerns are. First of all, we have to look at partnerships in our lives. Who are we connecting with? In what way? What are our expectations, how's that going for us along the way? Especially in terms of looking at shifting economic conditions and changing conditions in our own lives, in our own businesses. Partnerships become an imperative concern that we have to take a look at. That's part of being prudent in the face of changes in economic conditions. So the second big area of our concern is the ability to make good decisions. Are you able to make the right choices at the right times? This is a critical piece of being prudently prepared for the next downturn in economic circumstances. The third concern is health. And this has to do with our own personal health, the health of our loved ones, the health of other people, who maybe our employees, our partners, what have you. But when health matters come into consideration, it kind of becomes an instant game changer for us. We can be prudent, we can be prepared for changes in health circumstances, but we need to have defined strategies for doing that along the way. The fourth big concern is what I would call emotional resilience. We can suffer all kinds of ups and downs in the markets. We can suffer the circumstances of changes in our own financial well-being, changes in our business, but we must be able to respond to those with the right emotional stuff. We need to be able to maintain an upbeat and positive attitude. We need to see the opportunities where other people see problems. And this all resides in one core consideration: our ability to be emotionally resilient. So these four things, dealing with partnerships, dealing with decision making, dealing with health concerns, and dealing with emotional resilience, these are the four main areas that we need to address as we approach a prudent attitude toward dealing with economic downturns and being prepared for the future in an effective way. So I hope you'll join me for the next videos. We'll try to get those out over the next couple of days here, spend a little bit of time sharing with you on a regular basis. In the meantime, if you've got ideas or want to share some feedback, please make a comment here. We should have an opportunity to do that where we're displaying the video here for you. Let me know what you think. Give me ideas about what we should be addressing with this brief series, and especially if you're concerned about working on your own matters of personal well-being. If you're concerned about maintaining your wealth, of developing a legacy wealth situation, or if you're concerned about your own well-being at any level, be delighted to talk with you about working one-on-one to get you specifically what you need the most. So shoot me an email, tim@timbost.com, and let me know you're interested in setting up a conversation. We'll do that and take care of you to make sure that we can connect with what you need the most. In the meantime, leave a comment, and we'll be sharing another video in this series real soon. Thanks so much for taking a couple of minutes to watch with me here today.